January, people tell me they're ready to change. They're ready to set new goals. They have new plans. They have a sense of new motivation. And I always think the same thing. Goals don't change people. Micro decisions do. How's it going, guys? My name is Neriah. I'm the owner of Iron City Biomechanics in Vestavia Hills. We help bridge the gap between healthcare and fitness by fixing patterns, not just chasing those symptoms. And the biggest thing I've learned over the years in coaching is this: you don't become who you want to be through one big decision. You become that person through hundreds of tiny micro decisions. Most of them feel insignificant in the moment. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter. But let me explain it from this perspective. So I had a client tell me recently, I don't understand why I keep falling off. I want to be healthier. And I'm like, that sounds good. And so, I asked her to walk me through what a normal day for her was. Not an ideal day, but what was her typical day like? What did it consist of? So she usually wakes up tired. She's hitting that snooze button, rushing out the door, driving, putting on her makeup, eating what's ever convenient, and telling herself, you know what, I'll try again. I'll do better tomorrow. And nothing dramatic, right? Nothing truly reckless in that moment, but just small decisions that become stacked over time. That's the part that people miss. Micro decisions don't feel important in the moment, but the body doesn't judge your intent, it adapts to the patterns. Research in behavior science shows that habits form through repetition, not motivation. On average, it takes about 66 days for behavior to become automatic. And that's only if it's repeated consistently. So if you mess up one day, guess what? You need to start all over again. And that means who you are becoming isn't decided by your goals, it's decided by what you repeat. Here's where it gets uncomfortable for a lot of people and a little funny, in my opinion. Most people don't need more discipline, believe it or not. They need fewer. And I'll deal with this later. I'll deal with this in later moments, is what people typically say. Because every time you say this, I'll skip a day. I'll skip it today. I'll start tomorrow. I'll fix it when life slows down or when the kids are back in school. You're casting a small vote. Not for failure, but for delay, kicking the can up the road, as the saying goes. And one vote doesn't decide your identity, but years of voting the same way does. And from a physical standpoint, this matters more than people realize. Your body adapts to small inputs over time: your sleep patterns, your movement habits, stress responses, recovery behaviors, your diet. Studies show that even losing 1 to 2 hours of sleep per night can impair your glucose, your metabolism, increase inflammation markers within just a few days. And so prolonged sitting, and in people who exercise, it's been shown to link in altered hip mobility, increased spinal compression. Nothing happens overnight, but the system slowly starts to shift to those daily habits. And that's why people wake up one day and say, man, I don't know how I even got to this point. When did this happen? And I say it didn't happen suddenly. It happened quietly. And here's the flip side, and this is the hopeful part of what I'm talking about. Micro decisions work both ways, both positive and negative. One short walk doesn't transform your health. One night of better sleep doesn't fix everything. One intentional meal doesn't erase years of habits. but repeated small decisions rebuild your identity. Behavior research shows that people are far more likely to stick with habits that reinforce who they believe that they are. So instead of asking, what big change should I make this year? Or what should my goals be this year? Try asking this: is this decision pulling me closer to or farther from the person I want to be? That question changes things. It gives you a different perspective because it doesn't require motivation anymore. It requires honesty, transparency with yourself. And this is where biomechanics fits in. At Iron City Biomechanics, we don't just look at workouts and fat loss and your scale. We look at how people sit, how they walk, how they respond to stress, how they recover, what is their daily intake like, what are their daily habits. Pain and stiffness rarely come from just one bad choice. Weight gain doesn't come from just one choice. It comes from repeated habits over a multitude of years. And the same is true with progress. Small aligned decisions repeated daily is what changes the body. What changes how you recover. So this year, don't wait for the perfect plan. Pay attention to the micro decisions, how you move between your meetings, how you recover at night, how you eat late at night, or you shouldn't be eating, but anyways, how you eat when you're stressed, how you talk to yourself about your body. Because identity isn't built in January, guys. It's built on a random Tuesday when no one is watching, when your coach isn't in front of you. And so I'll leave you with this. Who do you want to be this year? And is today's decision voting for that person? If you're not sure about what decisions your body actually needs right now, clarity helps. Have somebody hold you accountable. A no sweat intro shows us how decisions have shaped you physically and which small changes that you need to make the biggest difference. And so when you're ready, schedule a no sweat intro at ironcitybiomechanics.com. Again, my name is Coach Neriah. Move better, live stronger.